I wonder, how many of y'all have ever ran into a situation where you felt like someone brought you somewhere? Someone brought you, it doesn't matter where it is. It could be something I just had a weird dream over, but someone just brought you to like some sort of organization, some sort of church. They brought you to some sort of, I had a thing where I went to somebody's home. You went to somebody's home and there was a gathering of people all in there. And it was mostly like, say, their family members and people that they just all get along with. And you felt like that person that was bringing you there was trying to bring you there to set you up for success. But when you get there, you get this weird, eerie feeling and you like, they want to like use and abuse you in some sort of negative way. And you're trying to figure out the second that you get in there, how can I get out of here as fast as absolute possible? My name is Mark Anthony DeBose Jr. and I was born July 4th of 1986. And today is a very, very interesting day because it was like not negative. We don't go negative temperatures in Texas, hopefully. But it was teens of digits. It was like 12 degrees for a couple of days, and then now it's like 70-degree day today. It's pretty interesting how things happen and how things work around here. What goes down. That I just know that for some people, if you're not ready for this, unfortunately, you're going to be jammed up. Like your body's not going to be able to handle it because you're going to be going too cold to too hot to too cold to too just swinging. And I guess that's a recipe for disaster for a lot of people and getting sick and not being able to keep up with their immune system. And that's something that I know a lot of people need to start working more and more upon and stop getting away from a lot of the drugs and a lot of the stuff and start to focus more upon what it is, the natural things out here to be able to get yourself to be able to get through some things and be able to make sure that you're good to go and not relying on all these hospitals and all these doctors to keep giving you stuff that you don't even know what they're giving you in reality. And at the same time, a lot of this medicine, you don't know what it is. You have no idea what it is. You don't know what it's going to do for you, what it's not going to do for you, what it's supposed to do for you. You don't know. You just take some stuff and you like just hope and wish and pray that everything's going to be all right. But I would just take away the part where you're consuming something and just stay with the hope and wishing and praying part, and you're more likely going to feel better. If you just take a nice bath and you just hope and wish and pray that you're going to be healthy and feel fine, that you're more likely going to be in a better case scenario than taking a lot of this stuff that a lot of these places try to keep on continuously giving you and recommend it to you to be able to take to try to keep yourself in a nice, healthy state. With all that said, I hope that everybody's doing well because it's been a very challenging days for, I know, a lot of most majority of people. And today, unfortunately, I had to help out someone who just they got the car stuck. It just didn't want to start. Started up, and I know that's what happens when temperatures change and things change. That some electronics just don't want to work. They don't want to. They worked and then all of a sudden it's just like, man, what happened here? Like it just shut off. It just shut down on me. And so I had to help someone out. And it's something with that is just let you know, pay very close attention, guys, to the normal places that you travel to make sure that your phones are working. Because something that I've come to realize, and we've got this so-called amazing, awesome 5G and all this stuff that's so great, that how come it just doesn't work everywhere? And I'm going to tell you, the time that you need it, it's not going to work. So you need to be very, very careful about the places that you frequently go to make sure that your cell phone is actually working if you do run into a jam and do need to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Because I just come to realize today that I have no choice but to say that the Verizon is hands down the best service in America that I've ever experienced and ever been to work with, because my phone always works. It always works. I don't care where I go. I don't care how deep in the woods I am. It always works. It's just always working. And that's something that just gives me a nice sense of security when I'm out doing what it is that I'm doing. And also gives me a sense of security in the situation where I felt like when you go to some place and you just don't feel ease, you just feel this unease inside of you the second that you walk in. But this person is bringing you with all smiles, like, yeah, come with me. I want you to meet these people. I want you to hang around these people. I want you to chill with these people. And these people right here, they're so great. They're going to be able to give you the truth. They're going to be able to give you the most awesomeness. They're going to be able to give you a great way to live. They're going to be able to bring some peace to you. They're going to be able to bring some harmony to you. They're going to be able to bring some greatness to you. And the second that you get in there and you start to see these people, the second that you realize, like, man, something's off around here. Something's not right in here. Something just feels destructive and chaotic in here. Something is just like, why is everybody looking at me as if they want to like use and utilize me and not just trying to say help me and trying to get me into a better case scenario? That everyone is just has this like, yep, there's the sucker. We got him. We got him now. Now we're going to be able to do what it is we need to do to make sure that we can move forward and do what it is that we needed to do. Now that we got this, say, outsider in here to be able to come close to us. I wonder how many of y'all feel like that and ran into situations like that where you've went to, I mean, I've had this experience, not even just in a dream, but in a real life scenario of going to different places, different churches, I'll say, that the second that I got there, I realized this doesn't seem right to me. This doesn't, we shouldn't be, say, going on feeling, but this doesn't feel right because the way that people are acting, but in comparison to what the people are saying, is something that's just completely different. And I wonder how many of y'all run into this where you just don't feel comfortable. And you could be going with your spouse, you could be going with your family, you could be going with your kids, you could be going with your grandparents, you can go with anybody. But yet that person that brought you there, they seem like they're on a, you're not sure, but you feel like what it is that they're going to is helping them. And then you end up going there and you end up finding and realizing yourself that you just start going down and down and down. That everyone else around you is just cruising and having fun. It looks like they're having fun. But the energy that you feel in there is just destroyed. It's not welcoming at all. The faces, the words that they're saying is, we love you, we're happy to see you. But the body language that they're saying is, get the heck out of here. I want to destroy you. How are you still doing that? How are you still moving forward? How are you still getting stuff done? How are you still smiling? How are you still focused on what it is that you're doing? That's what their body language is saying. Their body language is just so negative, just so damaging, just so absolutely ruthless. But the words are just like, we love you and you're awesome. Hey, Oreo. Hey, Oreo. Come here. Sorry, 1 second. Get down. What you rolling in over there? Whatever it is, I don't like it. We gotta take a bath after this. Get down. But something that I just realized, you stay right there. You stay down. Something I just really realized that sometimes we go to places, and it could not even just be a church. It could be a store that you go to. It could be a restaurant that you go to. It could be anything that you go to, that once you get in there, you start to just get this, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to express myself because I feel like everything in here is trying to just take something from me. It's just trying to steal from me. It's trying to take everything that I'm about from me, where you just don't feel comfortable with expressing yourself and saying what it is that you really want to say, that you feel like you start to hide what it is that you're doing. You start to hide who you are. You start to hide everything about yourself. And you run into a very, very sticky situation with that, because then you start to do what it is that you feel like everyone else that you see is doing, is lying. Where they're saying something, oh, I'm good, but they're lying. I'm telling you, you can feel it. Their body language is damaged, is horrible, is not great, is just absolutely destroyed, to the point of absolute frustration, to the point of getting into rage. Stay down. And I wonder how many of y'all have ran into do I have a quick thing of water that I can get on you real quick? How many of y'all run into a situation where you just feel like you're not able to do what it is that you want to do because of these people that are around you. And then when you finally get that one chance to run away, you run away. You run away. You literally run away, and you don't look back, and you just keep on going. You keep on pushing forward, and you keep on doing what you're doing. But yet those people try to pull you back in. They try to bring you back in, and not even just bring you in gently at first. They actually literally will start chasing you. They'll start chasing after you, and they're going to tell you, you can't leave, you can't go anywhere else. This is where you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. This is how you need to do it. This is the truth over here, and we know it all, and no one else knows anything. And they chase you at first to try to pull you back in, where they don't really give you a choice. They're not giving you a choice at all. They're just forcing upon you to do what it is that they want you to do. I wonder how many of y'all ran into a situation like this, where you just are not feeling comfortable, feeling confident, feeling secure with what it is that's going on around you, where you just feel like you got to get out and you got to get away. And I'm going to tell you one thing, that if that's how you feel around the people that you're around, you need to really take a good hard look at those people. And regardless if it's your family, regardless if it's your closest friends since day one, since you've ever known, regardless of anything that's going on with them, you need to take a good hard look at what they are really wanting from you, and what they're trying to do to you, and what they're trying to be able to get you to do to be able to please them. And that's something that I feel like a lot of us really just neglect. We neglect it because we think like the people that are, say, closest to us, that they're just in it. They want to see us get better. They want to see us greater. Like even our family, especially our family. Like we feel like we trust our family, like our mom, our dad, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our uncles, our aunts, or our grandparents. Or we trust them because it's like they're family, right? They're supposed to look out for the best of me. They're supposed to want the best for me. They're supposed to want to continuously see me grow and watch me get better. But I'm telling you, that's just not the case in most and majority and most not all of every family unit situation. That you've got people in your family that just want to absolutely destroy you. and they want to just bring you into how destroyed they are, just so that they can feel like they like completed their goal of life or something of some sort, or somehow, some way, in some being, where they've finally been able to just like finally get you to be down beneath them, so that finally makes them feel good and feel better. Not trying to make sure that you are progressing and doing something better for yourself, because I'm telling you, most times, most cases, when we as a people end up in a situation where we just get destroyed, where we just get damaged, it's because of someone. And as crazy as it is, someone that it's in our family, someone that we really know, one of our friends that we really know, one of our friends that we just really like to hang out with, that like really like to, we trust their opinion. I would say that they're the ones that kind of bring you into that situation. They're the ones that kind of like introduce you to that problem that's going on, where you just can't figure out how to get away from it. And then when you try to get away from it, that it just keeps consuming you to the point that you just can't escape, no matter how hard you run, no matter how hard you try to disagree, no matter how hard you try to make yourself disappear, no matter what it is you do. You realize you got into that situation by someone that you felt like you say trusted. And I wonder, how many of y'all really just take a good hard look and just really start to study your lives and start to think about what it is that you actually do want to be able to do on this planet, and starting to ask these people and starting to ask other people around you, like basically for advice, and asking them for some feedback, and they just have nothing to say that just is no way beneficial to what it is that you've ever been talking about. Like, have you ever spoken to someone about something that you were just super passionate about? Just, I mean, you really want to dig deep with, you really want to get a better understanding with, you really want to just pursue this in your life, and you've been telling it to someone who you like, this is my family. You've been telling it to someone who's like, this is my best friend. And then the next time you talk to them, it could be a day later, it could be an hour later even, and you start to talk to them about that, and they're just like, what are you talking about? You never interested in that. Where they just completely like have no regard to anything that you said to them. Where they did nothing. They didn't even absorb any of the information that you said to them. Where they just continuously just will look at you like you're just lying. Like, no, you didn't say that. You didn't do that. I wonder how many of y'all run into situations like that? Because I'm telling you, we need to really start taking a good hard look at, stay down. We need to take a real good hard look at what it is that we are doing around certain people that we are around, and starting to really question, who is it that's actually looking out for the best of me? Who is it that actually wants to see the best in me? Who is it that actually wants to watch me gain more and do more and be better on this planet, and not just try and gain more for their own selves? Where you feel like a little, say, insecure yourself, where you're not 100% sure on how to be able to accept what it is that people are doing to you, because you feel like that's all you have. A lot of us, we run into situations where we do what we do. Get down. We do what we do with people that are around us, because we feel like that's all that we're ever going to be able to have. We feel like if we leave them, then there's not going to be anyone else for us. We feel like if we leave them, then everyone around us is just going to be worse off, and I won't be able to trust anybody. But I'm telling you, sometimes the people that you're the closest around are the people that you really need to not trust in reality. You need to start questioning what it is that they're trying to be able to bring and be able to offer to you, to be able to see if they're actually trying to help you, to see if they're actually trying to bring you into a better place. And why do I say all this today, Mark? I say all this today because I feel like there's a whole lot of people out here that are struggling in a way where it's, say, a very simple way for you to be able to get out and be able to get away from it. Where you're struggling in a way that you're constantly feeling destroyed. You're constantly feeling damaged. You're constantly feeling like someone is constantly leading you somewhere that you're just getting worse and worse and worse, and you're not getting any better, and you're not getting anything. You're just constantly getting beat down. You're getting beat down to the point where you just feel absolutely worthless. Where you just feel so pointless to the point that you just don't know what to do, how to function, and how to be. And the only way that you feel like you know how to function is to go back to that toxic, crazy, chaotic way of living with those other people are doing, who supposedly have your best interest at heart. And then that's the only way that you're able to actually be able to get yourself into a better place scenario, with feeling like you could do anything, and you're lying to yourself, because the only reason you're doing that is because you don't know how to break out and break off and do your own thing. And I wonder how many of y'all are just constantly just doing this over and over and not getting better. And that's something that I want any and every single person to question and challenge with everything that everywhere that you go. Everything that I say. If I say something and then you just do something that I'm just talking about, I start reading some Bible passages and it comes to you and just this negative, I hate this, I'm disgusted. You really need to start questioning what it is that's going on in and around your world with the information that you're constantly reading and constantly getting on, and the YouTube feed that you're getting, the Instagram feed, the Twitter feed, what's the other ones? TikTok feed and your Snapchat feed and all that stuff, to figure out, why is all this negativity coming to me? Why is all this just absolute worthlessness coming to me? Where I feel like there's some people out here just saying some things and I get absolutely enraged. And there's some cases that we read some content, we read some information, we watch some videos, we watch something, and it just enrages you to the point of absolute just insane. And I wonder, why is it that happens to you? Why is it that goes down with you? Why is it that you just don't have any sort of trust in anything that goes on when you get away from what it is that you're spending most of your time with, and these people that you're spending your time with, that when you're with them, you don't feel good. But when you leave them, you feel absolutely worse on worse there, where you just don't know what to do, don't know how to function, don't know how to get anything done, don't know how to do anything. Why is you living in a situation like that? Because you really need to start challenging some things that's going on in your day-to-day life to be able to figure out how it is that you're going to be able to get better on this planet and be able to do some successful things on this planet. And a lot of people get stuck up on this word successful and thinking like, I got money now, I've got a big house and I got that. No, successful means that you actually have the chance to even be able to do that. A lot of us are living lives where we don't even have the opportunity to even be able to get to that point, because our mindsets, our thinking is so jammed up, so destroyed, to the point that we can't even think about being consistent. We can't even think about being on time. I can't even think about making no food. I can't even think about cooking. I can't even think about cleaning my room. Your mindset is just so absolutely destroyed. And if your mindset is so absolutely destroyed, I'm telling you, you need to really, really start questioning the people that you're around, and who it is that you're hanging with, and what you're constantly feeding the information to you from the feedback that you're getting from the people that you're constantly continuing to keep communicating with. Where if you're just in this, I don't even know how to get up to even be able to do anything mode, you really need to start paying close attention to you really need to start paying attention to who it is that you're actually listening to, and who it is that you really put your heart and believe in, and who it is who actually has your best interest at heart. Because I'm telling you, I feel like most and majority of people on this planet today is headed in a very, very interesting way, where they're just all about self. And they're all about self in a way that if you're not able to get them in a better place, they will start to do damaging things to you just to make sure that they can feel better, at least, than what it is that you have and what it is that you're doing. And as sad as it is, our family members even do that, and our family members are usually the major culprit of making something like that happen to us in our lives, because they're the ones that are the closest to us. That there's so many people on this planet today that are just so lost. They're so lost to the point that they don't know what to do, how to do, who they are, what's going on, why it's going on, anything that's going on, where they just feel like they are headed down this path of, I know what to do with my narrow little mind, and going here and doing this, and they feel like, if I know what it's right, then you do this, and I'll beat you down to be able to get you to do this. And it makes them feel better. It makes them feel so much better when they have people like they're slaves. They have people under their control, where they can speak and they just move and they react. When they can say no and they're just, oh my God, they say yes, and like, I'll be right there. And having a life like that's something that is just super, super damaging to ever want to try to be around and be with, where we need to make sure the people that we're hanging around, that they are actually looking out for the best of us. And I feel like that's something with me that I've come to realize the more and more that I keep on growing and learning and getting older and doing what it is that I'm doing and being out here and making stuff happen the way that I make it happen, that I used to have this sense of, I need you to function the way I need you to function so that I could be able to make my life better. Where I 100% understand exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to this, because I used to do this. I used to try to make sure that everybody around me was doing what it is that, like, they all had a role. You had a role, you had a role, you had a role. And if you didn't do what I wanted you to do, then I would have to work on you to fix you up a little bit to make sure that you were doing your role again. And that would always make me satisfied. But then I would go to home and I would go to bed and I would lay by myself and I'd be by myself and feel absolutely destroyed and feel beaten down, because I realized doing stuff like that just doesn't really help anybody. It doesn't really help yourself. Not help anybody, because we clearly know it doesn't help anybody, but it doesn't really help yourself. And then also at the same time, if you yourself are so lost and so confused and so don't know what you're doing, don't know where to go, don't know how to make it happen, don't know how to put a smile on, don't know how to get anything done, don't know how to show up on time, can never be consistent, always just irritated, always pissed off, always in anger, always raging, how can you possibly help somebody? How can you possibly give any sort of advice to somebody to try to help them out to be able to get them in a better case scenario? Because I've just come to realize, like, a lot of this stuff, like I think yesterday I was talking about that, but a lot of these books that I've read and a lot of this self-help stuff and a lot of these things, like, I noticed that these guys and girls will write these amazing sounding books, like do this and try this and this step to success and this step and this step and this step. But yet their own personal lives, you could watch it and you could pay attention to it because they show it out there for the world to be able to see, especially some of these celebrities that write their books on how to be successful and how to do this and how to grind so hard to be able to make it. But yet you watch their lives just in this just extreme chaos, extreme destruction, just having no sort of order, no sort of control, just in an extreme amount of just rage. But yet they're out here trying to be able to give you some information on how to be able to get your life in a better place, in a better situation. That's something that's just been very, very confusing to me. I feel like ever since I've been starting to really get a good understanding of who God is, that how are you someone who's able to be able to help anybody if you are absolutely destroyed? And I feel like that's something that keeps going on a lot with our world and with our existence today. That's why some of these, I'm going to say, churches and some of these organizations are so huge. They're so huge because they have a person that is so confused going to a pastor, leader, minister, preacher that is so confused themselves. And then now you're just having more and more confused people. And then that person is able to like suck on another person who's super lost and super confused and super broken down and super torn down. And then they bring them in and then they make them feel good for 5 minutes because the pastor stands up there and he talks and he sounds really good for a little bit. He sounds absolutely amazing for an hour or 2 hours that you see him on the weekend. And then you just think like, oh, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to get like that. But then, yeah, you see that pastor, he's out there drinking, he's out there smoking, he's out there yelling, he's out there slandering, he's out there beating his kids, he's out there beating his wife, he's out there cheating on his wife, he's out there doing all this crazy stuff out there that you know he's not supposed to be doing, but he's not going to show that to the world right away. That always gets exposed though, and I feel like today is a great time to be living in because I feel like majority of all these guys today are starting to really get exposed. Get down. Are really starting to get exposed, and their baggage is really starting to get pushed and be put out there. That you're no longer able to hide what it is that you're doing. That if you're standing there and you're saying that you're trying to help someone, you're trying to be about something, but yet you're doing something completely different behind the scenes, it's starting to be shown out or just open to the world today. And it's something that I feel like that's a movement in God, where God's moving today, and He's starting to let everyone know who the false is and who the real is, and He's starting to do some things to be able to push it out there to let you know what it is that to be able to pay attention to and what it is that you really need to follow and what it is that you really should start working on. And because something today in this Bible today that I was reading in this, I think it's in the 1 Corinthians of the 6th chapter. Is it the 6th chapter? Let's double check this. That's the 1 Corinthians in the 6th chapter, in the 9th verse. It's something very interesting to me because I've been talking about this, but I feel like get down. But I feel like this is something that is just very, very interesting to me, because in the 9th verse of the 1 Corinthians of the 6th chapter, let me restate that. Oh, we're going to leave it right there. Or do you not know that wrongdoers will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexual immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men having sex with men, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor slanderers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. And that is what some of you were. But you are washed, and you are sanctified, you are justified in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and by the Spirit of our God. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us really run into sticky situations with, because we're not going by that simple thing of we were doing, but we actually still are doing. And that's something that I feel like a lot of us really need to start taking a good hard look at ourselves to really figure out what it is that we should be and we shouldn't be doing, because that all that right there in that entire book really does lay out the laws of what it is that we should be doing. And then someone's going to say, oh, Mark, You know, we're all sinners and we're gonna sin, and we get saved, and we're saved by grace, and we live by faith. And it's like, you know, there's a understanding of that. But when you are out there purposely doing things, when you're out there purposely trying to sabotage someone, when you're out there purposely trying to put someone to idolatry, when you are purposely out there committing adultery, when you're purposely out there as a man sleeping with another man, if you are purposely out there doing all that stuff, if you're still continuing to do it, if you're still making it happen, if you're still all in it, you're still all about it, you're not headed down the right path. You're not able to be able to speak to somebody clearly to be able to get them to be able to do something better for their lives. That you are no teacher to anybody to make sure that you are able to get someone to be able to do something great. Are you gonna have times that you mess up with some things? I'm gonna say yes, but it's very hard for a person on this planet to commit adultery when they've decided that they're not gonna do that anymore. If you do that, you're making a conscious decision to do that. If you're planning on being a man and sleeping with another man, you're making a conscious decision to do that, to get into that. If you are having false idols, you are purposely doing that to do that. It didn't just slip upon you. You didn't just wake up and, oh, there it is, I'm in it, I just made it happen. No, you are purposely doing that. So there's one thing of saying that we sin and we mess up and then we finally just get away and we do something different, as opposed to just saying that you are doing it. You are still continuing to do it. And I feel like that's where we're having a huge issue today, where we're putting ourselves around people who we act like and we think like, and they stand up there and they say that I'm so perfect and I'm so great, and I don't cheat on my wife, and I don't sleep with other men's women, and I don't have any other gods, and they stand up there and you assume that they are like that. But they never actually say it to you. They never actually like say, you know, for instance, if you're a doctor, you got to have like credentials. You got to say this and you got to come for this, you got to do that, and you got to have it all down to go over there and say I'm a doctor. If you're a lawyer, you got to like have credentials. You got to have this and say that. If you want to be a police officer, even, you want to be a firefighter. You want to be what are those other guys called? The medic, the paramedic. You want to be a paramedic? You got to have all these little things to let everyone on the planet know that's what you do and that's what you're skilled for, and you're following all these guidelines to be able to do that. But yet, for someone to stand up to try to get you to be able to get over your problems, to get over your stresses, to be able to get over your chaos, to be able to get out of your rejection, be able to figure out your own self-worth, to be able to get your own self into a worthy way of living, these people don't have to have any sort of like, you don't have no fact checks on that. We want to fact check everything else. But for someone who wants to get you closer to God, wants to get you closer to yourself, wants you to understand who you are as a human being on this planet, they can just say a bunch of words for a couple hours, and then they could go off and do whatever it is that they want to do. They can make happen whatever it is they want to make happen. And if that person is doing that, there's no way that he's going to be able to lead you, and she today, because clearly it's not supposed to be she, leading you into being able to do what it is that you need to do. Because that person is not, they're very confused. And that's where I feel like we run into a situation where we get into that at first and we feel a little like uneasy. We feel a little like, I don't know, like this just doesn't feel right. This doesn't seem right. Something in here just is wrong. And it's just, it's not going the way that I feel like I need it to go, because it isn't. Because a person, the leader, the top, the that's a good word, the master is not living by the guidelines that he should be living by to be able to teach you. Because if they're going to try to teach you something, but yet they're not doing it, how the heck does that work? How is that possible? How is that anything that you should be doing on this planet? Listening to someone who is not doing what it is that they're trying to teach you to do. That is so confusing to me. That is something that I feel like is just absolutely mind-blowingly confusing to the point of absolute destruction. If you're going to try to teach someone something that you do not live by, you're going to try to teach someone, don't be messing with other men's wives, but yet you're constantly doing that on a week-to-week basis. If you're trying to tell someone, don't have any idols, but yet you got a shrine inside of your house and you're constantly praying to, you even praying to your wife, saying, please, baby, you need you. You doing stuff like that. You're trying to help people be able to fix their relationships, but yet all your relationships everywhere outside of the organization where you put yourself and try to make yourself look so perfect, everything else outside is just absolutely destroyed. It's absolutely just beaten down, broke down, absolutely just nobody wants to affiliate themselves with you. And when they see you, they just get this like, I need to shut up and just move away and get away from you. Where how are you going to be listening to a person that is constantly like that, that's doing that? And I feel like that's why we're struggling today. We're struggling today with getting any sort of knowledge, getting any sort of of truth, because especially when that starts to get exposed, especially when it gets exposed to the point that that person who you thought was just so righteous and so perfect and so great, gets to the point where they get put out into the open, where you can see all the damage and all the negativity that they actually are putting out in the world. And then you're just like, oh, I just can't believe in anything anymore. And then you get really confused. And I feel like there needs to be, but there shouldn't be, but there should be more of a personal, person-to-person having a good understanding of doing some credentials checking on people before you decide to, let me give all my money to them. Let me give all my time to them. Like, do some credentials checking, do some background checking, do some figuring out to see what it is that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And that's a very interesting, very awesome passage right there, because it's saying you used to do that. But now, since you want to do something different in the name of Christ, trying to get closer to God, now you're no longer doing anything like that. You're not doing that anymore. But you used to do it, and you know about it, and you've understood it, and you know why you shouldn't be doing that. And now we're moving on to something different where we're not doing it. So it's very interesting that I can see someone who is still standing. That's what I'm going to say to you. I'm no pastor. I'm no minister. I'm no preacher. I'm no priest. Did I say that one? I don't know. I'm none of those. I'm not any of that, because for me, I have things that I'm still working upon and trying to be able to get through, to be able to get a good understanding of myself, to be able to help out more people on this planet. And it's not for me to be able to say to anybody and everybody, you got to this and you got to that, when I'm still like, what am I supposed to go here? Am I supposed to go there? Where I'm still trying to be more self-sufficient. I'm still trying to be able to figure out more about how to be able to gain and how to be able to do and how to be able to make some things happen, where I'm still not 100% on my own doing what it is that I need to do. And once I do get 100% on my own doing what it is I need to do, then I will be in a more influential way of being able to speak and be able to help some people out and be able to do some things on this planet. But when you are still in a very confused state, there's just no reason I feel like we should be having places open up where people are not feeling comfortable being there, where people are feeling like, I'm not sure what's actually going on here, where I feel like I'm being judged with how I'm talking and how I'm looking and how I'm being, and I don't even know anything yet. And that's something that I feel like right away for me personally, walking into a lot of these places where I just feel like I get this massive level of judgment, when I'm like, you don't know me, you don't know what's going on, and you're not supposed to be doing that to try to get me closer to knowing who God is. God is the only one that judges. It's not for a human being to be able to do that to another human being. It's not what we do to each other. It's not what we do at all with each other, that we should be looking at each other with a very, very high level of respect and saying, hey, I know that you've messed up. I know that you haven't been going right. I know that you're damaging other people. I know that you've damaged your own self even. But let's go ahead and get you to move over here and do this now, because this is a better way of being. This is a better way, a light of being able to live on this planet. And I feel like a lot of us run into situations where, or you'll get down. I feel like a lot of us run into situations where we're constantly just sitting here following someone that is absolutely not looking out for the best of you. They're not looking out for being able to see you grow, to see you get better, where all they're looking for is how to be able to get themselves bigger, how to be able to get themselves to grow, how to be able to get themselves to look more into the limelight of just having all the interviews and having all the fame and having all the glory, where they're not trying to help their members, their group, their people, their flock, their homies. They're not trying to help any of them get into a better place. And I feel like that's something that we all really need to start taking a good hard look at and starting to get a real good hard understanding of what it is that's going on out here with what it is that we're constantly feeding ourselves or listening to. Are we feeding ourselves listening to someone who wants to see the best in us and wants us to grow? Or are we feeding to someone who's just trying to make themselves look better, who's trying to make themselves grow, who's trying to make themselves feel right? Because I'm telling you, you know it, you feel it right away. But yet what we do as a people is we just keep going and we going and going, and then we just ignore it. We're like, yeah, no, don't worry about that. Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about that part. Yeah, no, this one's all right as well. And then we just keep doing it. And then after a while, we keep doing it to the point that we like get stuck in it. And we get stuck in it as if it's like our family unit, where we just stuck in it. We stuck in the middle of it, that we can't get out of it. We can't get away from it. And now we feel like we're obligated to it. And we're obligated to it to the point of death, that I can't do anything else, but I can only just do this because I've been in it for so long. And I have no choice but to keep continuing to do this. And that's something that we need to make sure that we can, yes, break out and break away from that, especially when you know that you don't feel right in it. when you don't feel respected in it, when you feel like you're being judged all the time in it, when you feel like everyone always has something negative to say to you about it, when everything is just going on inside of that place with those people that are supposed to be there to love you and help you and guide you, where you just feel like every time you show up and every time you go, where you're just getting beat down, where you feel like you see everyone else around you getting better, but you yourself are not going anywhere. And I'm telling you, that's not some just weird coincidence of just how life works, and your life is just harder and your life just sucks more. No, it's the leadership that's going on in there that's not able to actually help you be able to get into a better place and a better situation. The leadership is just trying to get themselves to look good and to be better, and they don't care about the other people that show up. They don't care about the person that's sitting way in the back row that's just sitting back there needing some real assistance right now because they're really contemplating their own life right now, and they're just going to say, oh, just pray some more and everything will be okay, where they're not actually helping you, being able to get you into a better place, into a better situation. And it's just something that I feel like a lot of us really need to start just upgrading what it is that we're doing to be able to make sure that we're getting help ourselves and not just letting our own selves be on the back burner and be on the back burner. We're not just ourselves getting ourselves to be delayed, where everyone else, where everyone else is able to just get better and be better and have more and looking nice and able to do for themselves, where you aren't getting there. You're not actually getting anywhere. You're just staying the same. You're not doing anything in reality. And in reality, you're kind of even just getting worse and worse. And that's something that I really want more of us to really start to get a good understanding of, that if you're not getting better, if you feel like you're just seeing everyone else and you're doing so much for everyone else, but yet you're not feeling any sort of peace, any sort of joy, any sort of self-control, any sort of freedom, you're not feeling any of that inside of you, you need to just break away and move off and run away and do something different. Because what it is that you're doing is you're following people that don't have your best interest at heart. And that's something that more and more people really need to start to get a good understanding of, because Jesus, God, is not someone who's going to try to bring you down and keep you down and enslave you down and destroy you down. He's someone to be able to bring you up and to mold you up and to be able to bring you into absolute greatness and to bring you into understanding who you are and who yourself is and and what you're able to do and what you're capable of doing, and being able to make sure that you're constantly able to keep pushing forward and being forward and making forward on this planet. And that's something that we as a people need to make sure that we're doing that with people. And there are places out there that do that for people. Every place out there isn't the same old where they're just like, they got their hand out like, give me some more, and then if you don't give me some more, then I can't be able to give you nothing. And if you don't give me some more, then I got no message for you. And if you don't give me some more, and then I can't have a one-on-one communication with you no more. And if you don't give me some more, then that's not who God is. That's not what he's about at all, especially for a pastor. I've been in a church, oh my goodness, where the pastor was just like, if you don't paying, you don't get to talk to me. And that's something where if you're a pastor, you're a man of God, your time, your work, your living, your everything is to communicate and to speak to people, not to speak to people because they want to write you a check or give you some cash or do anything for you. That's not the role of the people. And if you're in a situation like that, I'm telling you, you need to sprint away. You need to run as hard as you can to get away. And if you're not able to run, you need to get on a bus, the train, you need to do something to get away from that and stop spending all your resources and all your time and focusing all your energy and doing it and paying attention to that, because that is so toxic that they are only there to see themselves get better and watch themselves only grow without trying to make sure that you're growing and getting better in a better case scenario. And with that said, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for today, for an absolutely amazing day. God, you really upgraded my existence today, and there's some things that I'm changing up. There's some things that I'm working on, and there's some things that I'm moving closer to be able to do some different stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is say thank you to is changing my diet up, that I'm going on a completely different eating system. I'm going on that straight carnivore diet, and I think that I'm going to do that until I don't know when, because I've finally been able to gain weight for the first time in my life. Like usually when I gain weight, it's because I get a big belly, but this is the first time in my life that I've been gaining weight and my waist is getting smaller actually, and I'm just gaining weight everywhere. It's the most coolest thing ever. So I'm going to continue to keep dialing that on. I would say this past month that I've been eating that about 95, I would say 95%. I've been doing a little bit of flour and a little bit of bread and so let's say like 85%, because I've been doing noodles. I'm not eating any of that. All I'm eating is beef, chicken, butter, eggs. That's probably all, and cheese. That's it. That's all I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna mix that up in any which way I possibly can, and just that's it. Because something about that has been able to really just bring a lot of energy out of me. Really just get me more energized to be able to want to do more and be more, and just really like I can see a huge difference in my body already. It's just a very interesting thing, and I just want to keep dialing that up. And also just starting to do a little fasting in a different way. That, and a lot of times I was always thinking about fasting and just like food, just not eating anymore. But now I'm going to do some fasting and a whole lot of stuff with like fasting with some social media, and fasting with certain words and certain terms, and fasting with certain things that I do, and just start to really incorporate that in a bigger way, in a bigger realm of my life, and not just utilizing that with just food and just eating. That's something for me that I'm definitely going to be changing up on, and really starting to pay more attention to what it is that I do on a day-to-day basis a little bit more, and start to really just dial in on making sure that I'm praying a little bit more. I feel like I've been praying quite a bit, but there's nothing wrong with trying to go a little bit more. And I'm so thankful to be able to have that inspiration, be able to come to me, and the inspiration to be able to come to me to start to change a couple of things up, to be able to make sure that I'm staying focused and doing what it is that I need to do, and getting done what it is that I need to be able to get done, and not just running around doing the same old, and not really getting as much done as I feel like I want to be able to get done. That sometimes we run into just routines where we just constantly keep doing that same old thing. And something for me is I always like to change it and switch it up, because I don't like routines too much. I like to just be random and be just chaotic in a way with my days, with my times, that you're not really going to follow, and you're not really going to be able to keep up with it. And I feel like that is something that just brings more spunk to me, more inspiration to me, more understanding to me, without having to just like, this time I eat, and this time I go here, and this time I do this, and this time I shower, and this time I go to bed, and that to me is just is I don't know, it just doesn't work. As much as you think that routine is cool, but the more that we stay in routine, the more that we just do the same stuff over and over, the more that we just see the same stuff over and over, the more that we just think about the same stuff over and over, without like trying to get into new creativity and new ways of living and new life. Oreo down. And new life and new anything, that we're just constantly doing the same stuff over and over and over again. It's something that I definitely want to continue to keep doing as I was last year. Like you have no idea what time I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat. You got no time when I'm going to go to bed, no time when I'm going to wake up, no time when I'm going to do anything that I do. Everything is just very, very just out there, and it's very hard to like say keep up with me with what it is that I do. And I greatly appreciate that you were not going to know where I am at a specific time on a specific day, that it's just always different, it's always changing up for me. And that's something I want to continue to keep upgrading with, to keep on doing, because sometimes that routine, I'm telling you, that routine just makes us keep on being the same thing. And that's something that just doesn't work for me. I want to keep growing and growing and growing. And even if it does turn into something that, say, fails, is something that I get challenged with, something that doesn't work out for the best, then I saw that, I did it, and I dealt with it, and now I'm able to move forward and move on to something different. And I'm so thankful to be able to have the food that I have still. Like I'm just look at that, and I just keep on eating, I keep on cruising, I keep on doing what it is that I'm doing. My chickens keep on growing, my chickens keep on laying me eggs. Everything just keeps on cruising the way that I want it to keep on cruising. I had a really, really great walk today, and I'm so thankful for that, to be able to really show the progression where my dog is getting with how it is that I'm out, and what it is that I'm doing with them, and the mission that we're on, with what it is that we're trying to basically in reality show to the world. That dog is kind of my show off dog to the world of, you think your dog's good, and I've got a dog that can do some pretty cool things and pretty awesome stuff that not these guys. These guys are, especially this guy. This guy needs to go to another house. Just Johnny, man. I'm sorry, Johnny. I like you, Johnny, but you don't do no work. You just a hang out, lazy, laid back, chill type dog. And it's just, for me, I don't know what to do with that. Oreo, get down. That's something for me. I don't know what to do with that. And so I gotta find him a home, like on the ASAP in reality. But I really like to be able to work some of my other animals, to be able to do some absolutely incredible things that just no one, just show off, just play off, just have some fun with it, to be able to really expose and do what it is that I do out here. That yesterday I was watching some videos on some coyotes, and I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to be able to train a coyote to be a dog that I go walk on a leash and take places. That'd be pretty impressive. I think I'd say, and that sounds like something that I don't know why, but that just really excites me to think about trying to do something like that. And but I hope that everyone's able to really get a good understanding of themselves. It's able to really start to upgrade your existence on this planet, start to do some more, and not just doing what everyone else wants you to do, but actually doing what it is that you want to do, what you need to do, what you got to make happen, what you need to consistently keep making happen, and start to figure out how to even be able to be consistent. Because that's one thing that I am going to say is every time I see a nice looking dog, I'm telling you, I know one thing about you. You are an extremely consistent person, that when things get troubling, when things get hard, you just keep going, you keep making through it. When things are easy, you still stay at it, you still stay firm with what it is that you need to do. And that's something that just I want more and more people to be able to be about and be able to have, is to be able to have that consistency of life, of knowing when I wake up, this is what's going to be like and this is what's going to happen, and not just going through this roller coaster of emotions of I don't know this and I don't know that and this happened and I don't know how to handle that and I don't know how to deal with that, and just being very, very on a level playing a straight line. Just getting done what you need to get done and be able to make happen what you need to make happen, and not feeling like you're on this roller coaster on a day-to-day basis where you're just not sure what to do based on, or worst case scenario, getting away and running away from things because you know that it's going to irritate you and you know it's going to mess you up, and doing stuff like that you should not have to not go somewhere because you're just not sure what's going to happen to you. And I want to figure out how to be able to make sure that you yourself are able to stay calm and stay good and have peace and have joy and have more self-control. And I know a lot of that starts with having a good understanding of who God is. And if you're looking and talking and being around people where you're not getting any more joy, you're not getting any more self-control, you're not getting any more of any of that, I'm telling you, just break away from that and go find something else, and do something else, and go be about someone else. Because those people that are around you, and I'm telling you, take a good hard look at the people that are real close to you. Because if you're constantly destroyed, if you're constantly beaten up, if you're constantly depressed, if you're constantly anxious, just look at the people around you. There's a reason why you're that way. And if you start removing some of those people, you start taking some of those people away, you start doing some different things from those people, I'm almost going to say, I guarantee it, that you're going to start noticing a different way of life and a different way of being. And we need to really start to not just think that everyone's looking out for the best of you, because there's some people on this planet that just aren't. And God clearly states that and says that there's 2/3 on this planet that just don't. There's 1/3 that does. So there's one out of 3 that are there for you. And even out of that, you may even get the short end of the stick, where there's less and less than that around you, your personal life, because the more depressed you keep getting, the more that you keep putting those more depressed people around you. And the more that you're around all those people that are even more depressed, the more down that you're going to keep on going, where it's going to be very hard for you to get away from that, because once you do find someone who actually isn't that, you're going to feel like you're not good enough to say be around them. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a church out there that's for you, because you're going to say, I know that you're feeling that way, and you are good enough to be here. And they're going to really bring you up, and they're really going to be able to bring you into a better case scenario. And that's something to me today that I felt like was heavy on me to say, that God is just saying, you are awesome, and someone does love you. He loves you. But also there's another person, human being on this planet, that does love you as well, because they love God more than anything else, and they're going to be able to help you get yourself into a better case scenario. And I just want to say thank you for this absolutely amazing day today. And I see that more and more is going to be coming. And I'm just super excited about the future and what's to come.